If you're listening to this, whether on the recording or live, and you like what you hear, please help Sherry. Like, share, tell your friends. This is the best kept secret in Vegas, and it doesn't have to be, if that makes any sense. So speaking of awareness, I will admit that growing up, that I was a nerd, a geek. I had my head in philosophy books long before people even knew what philosophy books were, and all kinds of. I was a nerd, all right, and I like to study spiritually awakened superstars of the past, and one of my favorite spiritually awakened superstars was Nikola Tesla. I mean, talk about an amazing mind. This man invented AC electricity. He invented the motor. He invented wireless remote control vehicles before, there was even a wireless remote controls. Like these are things that he invented. And one of my favorite quotes from Tesla is, "The present is theirs. The future for which I really worked is mine." Now think about that. There's poker in there. Sometimes we look down at a hand. It's just not our hand. That's their hand. So what do? We fold. We fold so later we could play the hands that we were meant to play. The ones we prepared so hard for. The positions where we know what we're doing, what's going to happen. And it's fine. This pot might be theirs, but the future pot, the ones that really matter, are ours. And that segues right into today's topic. Tight is not weak. Now, a little personal background about myself. I wasn't just a nerd, but I was a small, scrawny nerd. I was the one that got picked on in school. I've written books about this, okay? People used to knock my books over, spit on my head, put notes on my back, yada, yada, yada. So when you're born into this world as the runt to the litter, okay, when you have some physical challenges, like I've been blind 3 times in my life. I've had 3 cornea transplants. When I was 17 years old and the rest of the 17-year-olds were out racing cars and going out on dates, I was walking down the streets of Manhattan with my mom in my arm to guide me through the streets. Okay? But don't ever question what you see. Don't ever jump to a conclusion that what you see that appears weak is actually weak. So I want to read from, like I did yesterday, from the 30-Day Poker Coach. This is, what I'm reading to everybody is stuff that I have downloaded from the universe through a lot of meditation, a lot of thought, and this is what I came up with on the subject. One of the dumbest lies poker players tell themselves is that folding equals weakness. It does not. In fact, a lot of people who look the boldest at the table are not strong at all. They're bored. They're impatient. They're addicted to action. They need stimulation. They need attention. Some of them just need to get involved. That is not strength, my friends. That is dependency wearing a poker face. Real strength in poker is often quiet. It looks like a player folding 10 hands in a row without getting emotionally itchy. It looks like somebody refusing to donate just because the table feels slow. It looks like discipline. And discipline is a lot tougher than random aggression. Let's clear up a major misunderstanding. Playing tight is not the same as playing scared. Tight means selective. It means you know not every hand deserves your money. Scared, on the other hand, means you avoid pressure even when the spot is profitable. These are 2 very different things. A disciplined player can fold garbage for an hour and then explode into action the moment the right situation appears. A scared player misses those profitable moments because fear keeps them stuck. But a strong, tight player, that person is dangerous. At small and mid stakes, a lot of players want to prove something every orbit. They want to show the table that they're creative, fearless, hard to read, willing to gamble, willing to make moves. Fine, let them. You do not get paid for looking interesting. You get paid for making better decisions than the people around you. I've seen players torch an entire session just because they were embarrassed to look card dead. That, my friends, is ego. They started entering pots with junk, defending trash, making loose calls, and forcing bluffs, not because the spot was good, because folding too much bruises their identity. The table is not testing your masculinity or your femininity. It's testing, and it's not testing your courage or your worth. It's testing your discipline. There is a beauty in being selective. You save chips, right? You avoid ugly spots. You come in with ranges that hold up better under pressure. And perhaps most importantly, when you finally do enter, it can mean something. Tight players know when to change gears, often get more credit when bluffing, and more action when value betting because their range still carries weight. Now, none of this means you should become robotic or nitty for the sake of being safe. It means understand that refusing to bleed is not passive. It's intelligent. It is the game. If the game is soft, patient players get paid. But if the game is also wild, guess what? Patient players still get paid. The ones who hand over chips just to stay entertained, well, they usually become the entertainment, don't they? Poker rewards people who can wait without feeling weak. That is a powerful skill, not a boring one. So, what do I take away from that? There's a timing, there's a tempo. I write about this in the poker dance, which we'll get into. Okay. There's a timing to the table. And when we force things just for the sake, because we haven't played a hand in so often, that's not good. VPIP. So let's do the math. You should really be playing ideally, especially if you are a new to intermediate player, no more than 25% of your hands. If you go above 25%, you're not saying you can't do it, but now you have to be, you have to make up for it in other ways. You better know your table very well. You have to have a reason to play more than 25% of your hands, not because you're being dealt pocket fours and pocket sixes and pocket nines over and over and over again, because there's places for those hands, like we talked about yesterday in position. You see, everything we're going to talk about all just ties together, if that makes sense. Now, yesterday I announced that every week I'm going to be doing something cool for everybody. So I'll tell you what I've done. On Amazon right now, starting today in the United States and starting tomorrow in the UK, you can go onto Amazon. I already clicked the button, and you could download the 30-Day Poker Coach just for 99 cents on Kindle. I put it on sale for this week for everybody. All right? They're